Hey, everybody, welcome in to the Week 6 Betting Pros live stream. It is me, Dan Harris. It is him, Matt Perrault. Full disclosure, this is when I get very excited because I don't actually get to talk to Matt as much as I used to. We used to do the weekly podcast, everything like that. Right now, it's just like Slack, whatever. So this is actually a good time for me. Matt, how are you doing, first of all? How's your week going? I know you're probably not enjoying what you're seeing right now, but what's going on?
I'm good. It's been a challenging week for the family. Obviously, people know what's going on with my. I don't know what you call the boyfriend of my sister-in-law, but okay. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what the term.
I don't think there is. I know.
It's just Daryl, but he's. I mean, obviously, it's been a rough week for the family, but the Daily Juice community has been ridiculous. We've raised over $25,000 here. In about 2 days. So huge to help for the apparatus that he's going to have to wear on his head for 18 hours a day for 2 years to keep the brain cancer away. So, yeah, so it's not great. But from on a happier note, I mean, we get to bet football today. And the Jaguars, I will commend the Daily Juice folks who talked me out of us taking the Jaguars. Although the Jaguars are driving here.
They are.
Third down and six.
Don't make any firm proclamations over here, my friend.
I'm angry about Urban Meyer's play calling, and I'm angry about the fact that you've got every DB out and they're not throwing down the field, which is like, okay, I don't get that from the Jaguars. But if they get some points here for halftime and maybe even a touchdown to make it a little more accessible, I thought this would be the game they won outright. I don't know if I can hold firm to that. I didn't put any money behind it. So, I mean, that's I just made proclamations with no dollars. But I'm very annoyed by the Jaguars right now, but a touchdown or a field goal here at the end of half, 13-6, 13-10, going to the break. I got 3.5 in the circuit contest. So it was a numbers play more than anything. And the Jaguars are going to get the football back here to start the second half. So the Bill Belichick double dip would be very nice and make it a game for the folks over in London who are having to watch Urban Meyer's experiment of being a football team, not our football coach, not going very well in the NFL right now for old Urban Meyer.
I feel like we don't usually send our best games over here to Maddie.
Touchdown Jacksonville. Here we go.
Marvin Jones. I'm telling you, man, from a fantasy standpoint, there is no player I have less of a read on than Marvin Jones. Okay. Like Marvin Jones, I'm like, oh, here we go. Little Marvin Jones, we're going to get going. And then it's just terrible. And then it's a great catch. Yeah. He's, around the end zone. By the way, Matt, did you send it out on Discord? I'm going to send a notification to everybody that relies.
Oh, sorry. Cool?
I've been. No. I just want to make sure I don't want to double up.
Yeah, please do. No, I've not. I've only been on this Discord channel a little bit because I was getting mean people in my DMs this morning. So
why? Who would ever be mean to you?
Yeah, because some people think that they can come into my DMs and write all sorts of nasty things to me about how much I suck. And then when they write something nice about my family, I'm supposed to respond to that person. And then when I don't respond to that person decides to say bleep you because I didn't respond to his apology after telling me how much I suck.
Okay, so I like it. All right.
So that's my morning. First thing in the morning, I wake up, I get for the first DM I have for the day is basically a guy telling me to go bleep myself. So yeah, okay. I mean, it was a good start to a Sunday.
All right. Well, let's make it a better start right now to a Sunday. Let's go. Okay. First of all, congratulations. I can't believe you actually took it upon yourself to back the Jaguars. The Jaguars break the models, man, in my opinion anyway, of this is what everything says. Should be perfect. Look at the match, blah, blah, because of Urban Meyer. Like, I'm not kidding. There is no number that can make me feel comfortable. But as of right now, your bet is winning.
Covering.
Right?
I'm covering right now. I mean, it's not a first half bet, unfortunately, but I am covering. So 3.5, this is where I don't like Tua. I've never liked Tua. I actually would have been less inclined to take this if it was actually Brissett here. But I've just not been a Tua guy at all here for the Dolphins. So, I mean, that third down in 2 plays, all you need to know about where Tua is in terms of green grass. Let's make a throw. And it's like, that's not what you want out of your quarterback, who I think is majorly shy of getting hit. He hates contact.
Oh,
so,
yeah. As somebody who also hates contact, I can't blame him. But as an NFL quarterback, it's a little less of a thing that you can get away with. By the way, for people who are coming in, you guys know, as Matt has mentioned, if you listen to Daily Juice, of course, on the Fantasy Pros side, I assume some of you at least are Fantasy Pros subscribers, that we did lose our friend and our lead analyst, Mike Tagliere, to COVID a few weeks ago. We're all still just getting better. But you should know that in our shop, fantasypros.com/shop, we are selling things, Tag Strong, which was the hashtag that Tags' wife, Tabby, used. All proceeds from anything in the Remembering Tags list included go straight to Tabby. So everything like that goes straight to Tabby. It's purely for them. So if you guys have any, if you support Tags, anything like that, please feel free to just purchase something, a shirt, whatever, and go. All right, Matt, let's get into it. I've got 4 props today. We'll slowly dole them out. As people come now, as you can see, people are starting to join us and everything like that. We will get there. So let's just start, Matt. Why don't we start with, you want to start with your favorite plays? You want to start with your circa plays? How do you want to start?
Well, my favorite bet of the day is Browns -3. And
what about the fact that it's 3.5 in a lot of spots now? And the fact that there's no Nick Chubb? And the fact that Kareem Hunt is apparently going to be in a snap count? Doesn't matter, right? Me neither. Ditto. I'm just saying.
I don't care about any of that stuff. In fact, I laid 3.5. I'm okay with laying 3.5. Kingsbury being out of this game cemented this pick. I mean, that made it just an automatic to me. The Cliff Kingsbury, the play caller for the offense that's supposed to keep up here, is out of this game due to COVID. So, Browns, the weather, the wind. I mean, I think this is going to be a really hard game for the Cardinals. I don't think this team is built to withstand this early in the year. 3.5, 4. I think it's a 7-point win for Cleveland. That's my favorite play of the day.
Do we have an update on the so I'm looking at, because I know it was projected, obviously you and I had talked about that on your radio show, of course, about the wind. I wanted to see if we had an update. Again, the guy I usually go to is Kevin Roth, who works for right. And so he is saying 20 mile an hour sustained, gusts close to 30.
Is it red or orange? What's the game for him?
I haven't seen if he's actually got, hold on, let me see if he's updated the red or orange.
For those of you who don't know that's what he uses.
It's orange. It's
orange. Okay. So it's good enough. I mean, it's a factor then. I mean, orange means it's a factor.
I mean, I don't know. What do you have a number, Matt, of like sustained winds? Because for me, it's when it gets to 20 or above is when I get nervous. That's
sustained winds. Yeah,
sustained winds. 20 or above, 20 miles.
But if you give me wind gusts of up to 40 is when I play unders.
I mean, I want
like legit like gale type like.
Did you bet the under on this one, by the way? Or
no, I did. I did not bet the under in this game. I have not bet a total in a while, and it's been I decided to stay away from totals in football, college and pro, for as long as I probably could try to do it. So I use it with same game teasers, just straight up taking totals and betting it. I've tried hard to stay away from it. So just a personal thing after talking to Las Vegas Chris on the Sharps Report, which will make a return. I know we missed the last 2 weeks, so we'll make a return coming up. I tape it on Monday again. We'll be back every week for the Sharps Report, but he kind of talked me off of totals, and it was a really good conversation I had with him and kind of his philosophy. So I tried to, all right, let me see, because I was basically losing money on the juice. I was essentially like 500 with totals. I wasn't doing well, and he made a very good point about teams try to win games. They don't care how. They just want to win games. And you're more likely to see a team cover than cover a total. They don't care about those things. So in September and October, I've tried to stay away from the total. So bad weather, though, I will be playing unders when we get into bad weather coming up in November and December.
Yeah, the unders that the only ones I've really been hitting hard are the ones in Denver, which I basically had the Broncos, not even in Denver, just the Broncos unders I basically lived with. So I think it's 4-1 now. It finally didn't hit last week. Yeah. That was really the only one, but okay, I like it. I am with you, by the way. I mean, anything with sustained. First of all, there's so many things here, Matt, that just scream the Browns are going to win this game, right? Everything sort of. The Browns, first of all, are a great team, like a very, very good team. I know they're 3-2, but it doesn't really matter. They're obviously going to keep the ball on the ground. It doesn't matter that Chubb is out. It really doesn't. Is this field goal good? No good? No good. No good. Okay, there you go. Ooh, I love watching Matt sweat out some bets live here on the site. You've got the win, so it's going to favor them. You can beat the Cardinals on the ground for sure. Murray is banged up. It's just everything here screams that this is where the regression hits. So that I agree with you. That is actually my favorite. And again, the BettingPros podcast, I give my 3 favorite bets. It was one of my favorite is the Browns laying 3. So what else you got, Matt? What else are you looking at here as one of the bets that you are targeting here this week, either in your circle plays or whatever?
No, so with the bets, and then we'll do circle later. All right, so Browns -3. I'm telling everyone, and no one wants to believe me, the Patriots are beating the Cowboys today.
All right. I have the Patriots, just to be clear, and this is what's funny, Matt. I held back a little bit. It's probably to my own not good podcasting because I wasn't really ready. On our Best Bets podcast, we had Benny Ricciardi over from FTN, came on. His best bet was Cowboys laying 3.5. One of his was laying 3.5 to the Patriots. And I am on the other side, as you know, because we have talked about it a little bit. I don't know if they win outright, but I definitely think this game is close. Please make the case as to why that is the correct side, which I agree with.
So 5-0 against the spread, the Cowboys are, right? And they are heavy betting favorites right now in the public. Public is all over 3 plays, Cardinals being one of them, Cowboys being another one, Packers being the other one. And I think the Packers have a decent shot at hitting. We can get into that here in a little bit. It's a teaser leg for me, but I think the Patriots defense is going to create problems for Dak Prescott, who I think is playing over his head right now. They're on the road in New England, afternoon game in New England. It's going to be chilly. It's outside, and you've got this Patriot defense that's going to get after Dak Prescott. I think they can cover the receivers, and I think the Patriots can run the football well enough against this Cowboys defense to pick up first downs. I don't think the Patriots score a ton in this game tonight, but much like the game against Tampa, the Patriots have a great defensive game plan to befuddle and confuse Dak, turn the football over, and keep it close. And I think the Patriots are going to be right where they were against Tampa, against Dallas. Game-winning field goal being lined up potentially with time expiring and a chance to win the game outright. Unfortunately, it doinked off the upright against the Tampa Bay Bucks, and hopefully this time it goes through and the Patriots win the game. But give me plus 3.5 with a sprinkle on the money line.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think that this is the game that. I realize that the Bucs game was a little bit weather driven, of course, because by the way, I don't know if you can hear in the background, my children are going crazy. So if I seem distracted at any point,
it's happened in my life too. So yes,
it's
sounds
just
like a normal morning. Yes.
That I'm very hopeful that one of my children is not murdering the other one. That's all. No big deal. Anyway, guys. So I agree with you completely. I realize it was weather driven a little bit in the Bucs game, but I think the Patriots, I think people are a little down on the Patriots because they could have lost that game somehow last week. Again, you and I were on the Texans though in that game.
It was the most obvious down. Look, yeah. I have the only thing I've gotten wrong with the Patriots is I bet the money line on the Patriots against the Bucs, and that almost came through. Okay, but I'm 3-0 against the spread, and I've bet against the Patriots twice this season. So it's not like I'm betting with the Patriots every week. I bet against them in week 1 against the Dolphins, against them last week with the Texans. It was the most obvious letdown spot ever, and I luckily was able to get the best of both worlds. Patriots do not cover, and they win the game outright. So from my standpoint, it was a perfect day. That was exactly how I wanted the game to go. And Mac showed some moxie in the second half. The receivers got open for him finally, and they were able to pick up key first downs. I think Mac is really accurate, and I don't like the Cowboys' defense. I didn't like it going into the year. Their offense is great, but I don't like their defense, and I think the Patriots will be fine, in terms of ball possession. Just don't turn the ball over. As long as Mac's not turning the football over, I think they'll be right there.
All right, so let's get to a prop then. And it's in this game. You may not like it, Matt, but it is in this game. And you just talked about the weakness of the secondary. And I'm going to go with Jacoby Myers over 5.5 receptions at plus money. Oh, there it is. Look at that face. Oh, even the homer doesn't like it. This is going to be a Myers game, my friend. First of all, I've been waiting for this Myers game that everyone keeps on expecting. Yeah, when is it going to be a Jacoby Myers?
This is the week where
This is the week. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to go with it, man.
I know. It's just hard.
You have been very good at picking and choosing which of my props you are adopting. You're very, very good at that, which I appreciate. I really do, because I feel terrible when I'm like, oh man, I hope Matt doesn't, like, if they don't go right or they do whatever. I'm like, whatever. Fine, whatever.
It's only money.
It's a quarter unit. You're fine. No big deal. Look, this is what I think. I think they are as good as the Patriots defense is. They're going to need points, Matt. It's not going to be a 17-10 game. They're going to have to throw because the Cowboys are going to be able to put up points here. Myers is incredibly, incredibly reliable. Like, I realize he hasn't had the giant game yet, but he has certainly gotten involved well enough. There is one strength of the Dallas secondary. It is Trayvon Diggs. The thing about Trayvon Diggs is really good, but Diggs isn't like the total lockdown corner. Like, they put you on a receiver. Number one, he doesn't always shadow regardless. Number two, even when he does, he doesn't shut out that receiver. He's just elite right now at causing turnovers. Like, that's the thing. He's just getting all the turnovers. I think there's going to be a ton of Jacoby Myers here, not deep downfield or everything like that. I think they're going to pass more than you expect. Again, because Damian Harris is banged up, so I don't expect them just to run nonstop. I think Myers is going to get plenty involved. I'm getting plus money on this. I'm going with it. That's where I'm going. So that's prop number one.
Yeah, I don't hate the philosophy if we're doing bubble screens and things along those lines with Jacoby Myers. It's just really hard to predict what the Patriots game plan is going to be week by week. And that's why everybody predicted that this is going to be the year for Jacoby Myers. He's going to be the number one receiver. He's got this relationship with Mac from the practice squad early in the year and working together and like figuring things out. And like, before they cut Cam, it was Myers and Mac, and that's the, building that rapport but I haven't seen it. Like that's my only concern with that is I just haven't seen it yet.
Matt, how many receptions does Jacoby Myers average a game?
I think 4, right? 3.5,
6.
4?
6.
He's averaging 6 a game. That's interesting. Okay.
Yep.
That's more than I thought.
Yeah.
That's more
that's
than
right.
I thought.
So you're like over 5.5. I know that's his average, dude. Like that's what it does. 6, 4, 9, 8, 4. Like I get it because there have been 2 games. But anyway, that's
you may have talked to me. Okay. You may have talked to me.
No, you don't have to go. It's plus money. I get it.
It's plus money. I mean, I love plus money props because obviously you hit 2, you go 2 and 2 and it's a winning day.
Sure.
So I prefer those.
All right, so I want to talk to you, Matt, about another game before we get into any of your other best games, about a game that, again, Benny on our show picked as one of his games. I'm also now, after kind of going through it, I'm into the other side. Okay. It's the Bengals visiting the Lions.
I should have called it. I almost called it because everyone's on the Bengals.
Right.
Whoa.
No.
Uh-oh.
Right. What are you,
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. That's what it is.
Look, here's the problem, and I want you to make your case.
3.5, by the way, is the spread. Yes. Bengals are laying 3.5 in Detroit.
This long teaser, okay, this is most likely going to be one of the legs. This is going to be one of the legs on the long teaser.
Okay.
Because, look, I think this is the perfect time to tease this. It's already over 3. It's over 3. 3.5.
It's already over 3, right? Yeah.
You go over 7. You give a home dog 9.5 points. That is a scrappy team that plays really hard.
Yep.
The concern that I've got, and I don't know if you have it as well, is that you've got one of the best pass offenses against one of the worst pass defenses in the NFL. But
of course,
if I don't know if I'm 100% in love with the Bengals defense on the road to go in there and cover. And I think there's still the potential for turnovers with the offense with Joe Burrow. So I wouldn't bet the 3.5, but to tease it up to 9.5, I'm listening about the Lions.
Yeah. So I haven't bet it. But I'm not. Everybody I know, Matt, likes the Bengals laying 3.5. I don't like that whatsoever. And I feel like there's the possibility here of a little bit of a letdown spot. I had this, that I realized they lost, against Green Bay, and they could have won, of course. But you had that hard-fought game. Now you go face the Lions, a dead team, 0-5. They don't do anything. You got Baltimore up next. That's a big game, right? That's a divisional game. That's where you really want to go. Do you have money? Do you have the money in the breakdown of the bets? Is that what you're looking at?
Oh, no. I was just looking at just making sure the total is where it needs to be for the long teaser. But the total for this game at FanDuel is 55% of the handle is on plus 3.5 on the Lions. 47% of the bets are on it. So you have a 53-47 split. So more money is on the Lions.
But is that significant to you though, Matt, when it's that? Like, that's not a huge difference, is it?
No, it's not significant, but it shows you the pros are going to take the 3.5 because of the hook.
Right.
So, people get kind of confused about how a lot of these professionals look at numbers. I mean, to them, they don't care about the team, the narrative. They don't care about
They don't care about any of that, right?
They care about injuries, weather, and the number. That's it. And at 3.5, the pros are going to fire on the Lions as a home dog in the NFL because we've seen it numerous times. Everyone runs one way. Everyone's saying Cincy. And then, they just go in there and you go, wait a minute, the Lions pay their players too? Oh, right. They do. So to me, it just the total's 46.5. So it's under 49. I think giving the Lions 9.5 points is a really smart long teaser leg.
All right. I love it. Very good. Any other games, Matt, that you really like this weekend, just from a personal perspective?
Yeah. So Vikings, I laid it at 2. It's now 2.5 and climbing. It is, 72% of the handle is on the Vikings. 50-50 bet count at FanDuel. So what does that tell you? The professionals are on the Vikings here.
Right.
They probably are on the Vikings at +1, at even money, at -1. They haven't seen the resistance. Once they got to 2.5, then they finally saw some resistance of people coming back and taking the Carolina Panthers. But I think the wheels are coming off here. Without Christian McCaffrey for the Panthers, Sam Darnold is throwing the ball way too much. And as you saw in the second half against the Eagles, he threw 2 interceptions, has not looked good at all. I don't know what happened with him and Robbie Anderson. I don't know what Robbie did to him, but Darnold doesn't look to him for whatever reason. Darnold just is not interested in giving him the football. It's all DJ Moore all the time. And I think the Vikings can prepare for that. And I think the Vikings can blitz and get after Sam Darnold and make mistakes. And on the other side, I think, we talked about the Justin Jefferson jersey we're giving away. I think he has a monster game here coming up for this Vikings offense.
Yeah. So the move, I realized like the move from if you're at one on one side to, you're crossing, that's not that significant. But I mean,
Easy.
Still, it was early in the week, right? It was the Vikings +1. I feel like I saw,
1.5.
And now it's the Vikings. Like, this was one of my bets, by the way, in the BettingPros podcast. Yay, is the Vikings again, because I just don't look. I root for Sam Darnold. I really do, because I feel like his career may have been just entirely ruined by what he got with the Jets. And it's possible that had he gotten a better start, he could have made a better NFL career. But from everything I've seen from him, even in this offense, I think they just picked on a couple of weak opponents. I'm not trusting him at all. These are two very, pretty much evenly matched teams. The Vikings get a ton of pressure. Darnold stinks under pressure, stinks. Without Christian McCaffrey as that little like outlet, I cannot see it with this one. So I'm with you. Okay, it actually makes me a little nervous, Matt. I love you, but it makes me a little nervous when you and I see so like if we were on the same podcast this week, we'd be like, oh yeah, we're doing this. Yeah, good. How about this one? Yeah, good. How about this one? Yeah, good. A little nerve-wracking with that. Okay, let's find a bet that we hate together. Do you want me to pick one, or you got one that?
Well, I mean, I can give you the other bet that I've made. It's a personal teaser, not a Wong teaser.
Sure.
But there's Bears money coming in right now. So Bears are now down to +5.5. Yep. I took the Packers down. This is the most public and most chalky teaser. Everybody's doing this teaser. So I'm not like saying I'm unique in this. Yeah. Yes, Packers Chiefs. It's what everybody is doing. It's basically a money line parlay as a teaser. So, and you don't have to pay the teaser price, the money line parlay price. You just pay the teaser price. So,
right. What Packers is your teaser price now, by the way, my friend? I saw you complaining about that a little bit. What is
I mean, it's just I went to two books actually that I have not used all that often in Vegas. Okay. And I was blown away because it was the first time betting an NFL teaser of this season. I was looking to bet it there, and it's -140 at both these books. And I just
wow.
I was like, whoa, what? And normally I'm paying -120. There are a couple books here in Vegas are -120 or -125. But I had not seen. I had heard that -140s had crept up this year in the NFL. I couldn't believe it. And this is a really popular, very large book that it's a local. It's a local, not a chain of books. There are some outside of different states, but not like it's not DraftKings or a FanDuel. And I was really stunned when I saw -140. I was like, "How are you? Like, you're robbing people? Like, this is robbery. Like, you're straight up stealing people's money by charging them -140." And if you don't know any better, like, don't bet those. The number of times you got to bet to get over -140 to be right, you got to hit at basically 80% to get over on that juice, and that's insanity to me. Right. So -120 is tough enough. -120 is 71% you got to hit to get over on -120. So like you're already way behind, and now you're going to have to hit even more at -140. So they're basically trying to make you not bet it at their establishment, which is I was happy not to do it. But so -120 is really should be the ceiling as to what you're buying from a price when it comes to teaser legs. But I'm on Chiefs and the Packers. Chiefs -1, Packers pick today on the road to win over Washington and over the Bears.
Yeah, I have a two-team teaser as well. It has to be the Chiefs. I realize it's so public, but it's almost impossible to avoid making that Chiefs part of your two-team teaser. So we'll get to that. Everybody's asking about the Wong teaser. The Wong teaser, it can't be. It's 90 minutes before kickoff, right, Matt? Or an hour before kickoff?
It's supposed to be 30 minutes for kickoff. I do it. I do it in the last 10 minutes of this show because it's an hour, basically as close to possible. So, but as of right now, I mean, it just if you have to know about it right now, it's
it's not me. I don't care about it. It's for thousands of people who are basically being like,
whatever. Well, because I'm 5-0. I mean, I get it. We're 5-0 here on this live stream. Really, we are. We're 5-0.
You're crushing life. What do you want? Way to be.
Yeah. On the long teaser. I mean, it would be Rams Lions right now. And I'll tell you officially if we're going to get into it, but it would be Rams -1.5 and the Lions +9.5. Mm-hmm. So, but that's where I'm eyeballing. I'm not there yet, but once we get to the end of the show, I'll say yes or no to that. But as of right now, how do you feel about the Rams, by the way, today?
Yeah, I mean, I realize that has the spread come down so much just because it was based on the fact that I didn't know if Daniel Jones was going to play? Is that what it was? Is that why it's gone from 9.5 to 7.5?
Yeah, I really don't know what the problem is with this in terms of it's maybe just too high. Obviously the West Coast team on the East Coast is obviously
Yeah.
people are afraid of that often.
I think so. I mean, I think so. Look, that's a thing. It's not a, it's, it's a thing. You got an early game coming in,
Yeah.
I guess, but I haven't really, maybe they think it's a letdown spot, but they're off like a mini buy. I don't see it.
90% of the handle is on Rams -8, and 89% of the bet count is on the Rams -8 at FanDuel. So
wow.
it's a very, the Giants may cover. I just have a hard time seeing the Rams losing the game.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like it. All right, another prop coming up. These are a couple of boring props, Matt, because they're look at that. Look at your Jaguars.
Look at that throw. Here we go.
Best team ever.
Touchdown.
Okay,
Lead.
Another prop coming. These are boring props, guys. There are teams on buys. I try not to give out things on stuff. These are rushing attempt props. Okay, two of them actually did today. We're gonna start here. This one was one that I met, which is Daryl Henderson under 17.5 rushing attempts goes to this game, Matt. And the reason why I do think is because I think you've got one of two ways that this can go. Number one, the game could be closer than I'm expecting necessarily, which is the way it seems to be, trending with the betting lines. But regardless, I'm looking at this as if the Rams are going to win significantly and going to lean on the run. I think McVay is a very smart coach. I realized that a lot of the rushing attempts from Sony Michel last week came when Daryl Henderson was out a little bit with the elbow. But he has come out and said this is what he wants. This is what McVay wants, which is to get Michel, now that he knows the playbook, way more involved. Sorry, I'm looking at a weather report from Tom Pelissero here. Sorry, and that's also my garage door if anybody can hear it. So this is my life, everybody. Suburban dad all day long. But I can, to me, Matt, I think that if they do win big, I think they are going to run it, but I think Michel's going to factor in a ton because I think they know Henderson's already gotten banged up twice right now. Michel knows the playbook. He's looked decent when he's been out there and everything like that. So he hasn't got over this total once the whole year. Like he's been under 17 rushing attempts the whole year. So even if they win big, if they don't win big, they won't run it as much. If they do win big, I think they're just going to lean on Sony Michel to take a lot of the workload off. I expect more of a 70-30. 65-35 split here. So for me, I'll go under. It's not, the juice wasn't crazy or anything like that. Ooh, is that James Robinson? Oh, man.
Fumbled. He fumbled.
Oh, no.
He fumbled.
Sorry, guys. This is live watching the game. Did they recover? Did Jacksonville recover?
No way. He fumbled the ball at the 1 yard line.
Oh, my. When he was fighting for the extra life. Sorry, guys.
Dolphins. I think his knee was down, but is there going to be a shot of this? Is not. I love how Dolphin players just come in automatically. They point that way. Like they don't even know. Like, our ball. Like, wait, is it your ball or not?
Chris, you say it's 16.5 on FanDuel. What's the juice on it, Chris? 16.5 is like, 17 is the number, kind of. 17 is the number that I really like. So I probably wouldn't, but 17.5 is where it would go. Okay. So let's get that off. Matt, let me ask you.
His knees are so down. His knees, come on. That's just, his knee is so down. There's no way that's a fumble. That can't be a fumble. I'll be okay. It's not good.
Did they call it a fumble on the field?
No, I think they just recovered it.
Are they going to give it, or is he going to sneak it?
Touchdown, Jags. Woo, here we go. Here we go. Maybe my bet wasn't so bad.
Wow, what a brilliant bet by you. You're a genius.
I said money line, though. I did say they'd win their first game today. So let's see.
This is pathetic.
This is where you want Tua. This is where you want Tua because Tua's going to throw a pick.
Tua's fine. Everything's fine.
No, he's not fine. Tua is not fine.
Matt, I want to ask you about the Ravens taking on the Jaguars. What do you think? It's 3 right now.
Yeah, big fight in the big fight with my circuit teams. Both, people standing on tables for either side.
Really?
On my personal team, I went with the Ravens -2.5. And probably the best stat to give out for that is that on a short week at home, the Ravens are 13-1 straight up under John Harbaugh. So that's probably that was one of the biggest, that he's really good on short weeks. There's a huge concern in the Circa Million. I got outvoted on the Circa Million Daily Juice team for the Chargers +2.5.
So you have two teams in the Circa, and you are on opposite sides on the. Oh boy. Oh,
I can't. I mean, look. I mean, this is part of the fun of what we do. On the Discord channel, we do a live chat every Saturday at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, and we go over the games. And people can stand on tables. And if I get outvoted, I got outvoted. And majority rules in a lot of ways. And the Chargers plus 2.5 was the play that Herbert's going to dice up that defense that's been really bad. As you watch what the Colts did, what are the Chargers going to do to that Ravens defense? And I'm kind of on the other side. I think that you're going to watch and see the Chargers are kind of, again, it's a team on the East Coast from the West Coast, and a chance for the Ravens at home to continue playing really well with Lamar Jackson running the football. So I think it's a higher scoring game. I don't hate a play on the over in this game, but I think the Ravens can win by 3.
All right. So this is part of my teaser, Matt, where I actually teased the Chargers up. They were at 2.5. I took it up to 8.5 because I think the Chargers are going to win this game, actually.
Okay.
But I do. I think the Chargers are going to win. So I sprinkled on the money line. I think the Ravens are a little overrated. Like, I get it. But if the Colts don't even sustain those injuries, if they have a kicker last week, the Colts still win that game, even with the furious comeback. So for me, I think the Chargers are still a little undervalued in the market, still, even to this point. Mike Williams is going to play. But again, as a 2-team teaser, I took the Chiefs are my other leg where I publicly, tease them down to whatever, basically pick them.
Look, Brandon Staley's got me. I was very, very skeptical of the hire. And I was like, man, this is odd, taking a defensive guy with an offensive team, and you're bringing him over from the Rams. And wow. I mean, just from an analytical standpoint, from a decision standpoint, from a leadership standpoint, from the things he said in the wake of the John Gruden scandal, I'm in. I'm in on Brandon Staley. I think he's going to be. I think he's a really interesting guy, and the Chargers could very well win this game on the West Coast, or on the East Coast rather. But I'm a little concerned about coaching wise up against Harbaugh, and what is Harbaugh going to do, and what schemes do we see, what new wrinkles do we see from a defense that's been pretty bad. But this is still the Ravens at home, and maybe that defense finally grows a spine here and stands up to this offense.
Yeah, I just think they're going to find a way to win it again. I mean, it's still minus 2.5. At DraftKings for me, it's still minus 2.5. But I don't know, man. I think the Chargers have it on the money line a little bit.
The money's interesting. The money coming in at FanDuel. This is only just one book, obviously, but the FanDuel money. I was looking at it this morning. Where is that number? There it is. 78% of the handle, 79% of the bets are on the Chargers plus 2.5 plus 3.
All right. Well, that's
so
great,
the public's coming. Yeah, the public's coming in here, fading a home dog. Yeah. And I mean, this is where my eyes, when I was telling people, when I start my breakdown of both college and pro football, I immediately circle every game that's a home dog. I just go right down the line. I just find home teams, home dogs, circle them. So my eye, I always lean towards home dogs, and this is a pretty good home dog to take. I mean,
yeah. All right. So let's start. Let's go through it a couple of games here just to recap for some people, because obviously we've got 300 whatever people. So I don't know if we actually said which side we were on, Matt, now, but the spread is pretty universally now. The Rams are laying 7.5 here to the Giants. By the way, for the Giants, Darius Slayton is apparently out. I don't know if that means anything crazy, but they were expecting, obviously Kadarius Toney is going to be active. Sterling Shepard's going to be active. They were expecting to get Darius Slayton back. Apparently he is not back. I don't think that's anything crazy. I am waiting. Oh, actually I can check now because I've got my little inactive crew here updating news, of course, for Fantasy Pros. So I'm waiting on that, but that's apparently what we're going to get. So what are your feelings though on that?
I think the Rams win the game. I don't know if the Rams cover. So that's why I'm eyeballing this. It's a pretty low total, and 49.5. I mean, technically it was 49. Hold on. Let me double check and see where that number is now, because it needs to be 49 to qualify. It was 49 this morning for the Wong when I was looking at it earlier for the Rams, because hold on. Sorry. Scaling. Where is that game? Oh, there it is. 49. Yeah. So it qualifies. It's right. It's at 7.5 and it's at 49. So right now, this is why you wait up to kickoff, because the total is coming down. It's going to get to 49. We can keep on bringing this total down even more. 7.5, tease it down below 7, tease it down below 3, 2 key numbers, and just win the football game. And I just, can you see the Giants winning the game outright today?
No,
I have a real hard time.
I can't. I mean, the Giants, they occasionally sort of, randomly kind of put up a solid effort. But in this game at home, by the way, where Danny Dimes always terrible, I can't see it. I can't see it all. By the way, a couple of inactives.
Saquon. I mean, it's just
it's no good. A couple of inactives here. Our actives, actually, everybody right now is active as kind of expected. So I'm just going to very quickly run down just so everybody knows. Allen Robinson is active, Mixon active, McLaurin and Gibson are active. DeAndre Swift is active. T.Y. Hilton's active. Not that necessarily means anything, but just so you guys know, everybody is basically active here. Okay. We talked about the Ravens and the Chargers. You kind of like the Ravens, right? Even -3 if you can get.
I like the Ravens. I'm not betting it, but I mean, on my circa team. So I'll just give quickly. Give your circa. Here are the plays for circa. So the Daily Juice team is Packers -4.5, Vikings -1, Chargers +2.5, Browns -3, Steelers -5. That's the Daily Juice team. My personal circuit team is Jaguars +3.5, Vikings -1, Ravens -2.5, Browns -3, and Steelers -5. I don't know how both teams wound up with the majority of laying points. I hate that. And it was one thing. It was the one thing I pointed out when we were on the Daily Juice Discord chat. I was like, guys, got a lot of favorites here. That kind of worries me a little bit, but we're laying a lot of points here. But hopefully it's a good day for the favorites, meaning the public has a good day because they tend to bet favorites more than dogs here today. But so I'm on both sides of the Chargers Ravens, but for the most part, Vikings seem to be a universal. Browns seem to be universal. And that's why I went ahead and those are my bet. I put money behind it as well.
And I'm on those as well, just so everybody knows. Like, so we're all seeing it similarly. Let's hope that's not a.
The public's not, though. I mean, this is one of the really interesting things about professional Twitter or professional gambling information versus the public. The public's on the other side of both those games.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. So, and very briefly, I'm on the Chargers getting 3. So I'm on that side. But that you mentioned a game, Matt, which we haven't talked about yet, which was the Sunday night game, and that is the Steelers laying. Is it 5 in the contest?
It's 5 in the contest, and it's 5 right now. It's
5 right now.
It's 5 at circa. So the number has been pretty stagnant, and it hasn't moved.
Right. Oh, by the way, I see a couple of people commenting on rushing attempts and DraftKings, as DraftKings is my book. I don't know why, guys. They have very select rushing attempt props on DraftKings. Nobody said Tony was out, Paul, just in case you're wondering. Tony is in. Slayton, I think, is out. Tony is in.
Yeah. The guys in London don't like rushing props for whatever reason.
Why? What do we have? What are your?
No, I'm just saying that's generally speaking. That's where they do their numbers. It comes out of London. So
I don't know.
The guys in London don't like it.
Yeah, there's like 5 or 6 or something like that. I don't know why. But that's really all there is to it. So I know can't bet it in DraftKings. I apologize. But those are. I'm looking on our prop bet cheat sheet. I'm doing what we can. Okay. So but talk about the Steelers. All right, and Mike Williams.
Look, it's Geno Smith. Okay, it's Geno Smith on the road against the Steelers, and everyone's like, Big Ben sucks. Okay, fine. I'm on the under for 8.5 wins for the Steelers, but this is a really bad spot in my mind. Just looking at the way this team is built for the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, Geno Smith. I'm sorry, but I'm not. Everyone's like, oh, Geno played so well, and he came in. Yeah, because he came out of the bench. Yeah. Now they have film on him. Now they can watch him because they've actually seen him play. And now he's got to go out there from the first snap and play. Yep. I think the defense for Pittsburgh eats the guy's lunch. And this is a Pittsburgh defense play, not a Pittsburgh offense play. Ben just needs to hand the ball and let Najee Harris run the ball like crazy. And we know that Seattle's defense can't stop the run. They can't do anything right now. They're just a bad team. So Steelers, I haven't bet it because I'm hopeful the line to go to 6. And then I'll same game tease this thing and I'll tease it up to 49 and take the under.
Yeah. I like, by the way, that you've totally thrown out the Perrault-isms on which our relationship is based, which is no
I'm not. What do you mean? I'm not I'm not throwing it out. I'm teasing it down. I didn't.
No, but you're still.
Oh, you mean the picks? You mean?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I got talked. I mean, I hate the 5 and 5.5. I mean, those are awful numbers. But I think people just. I'm willing to lay it if I feel really comfortable against a backup quarterback on the road in primetime.
Yeah, I gotcha.
This screams just like give me anything under 7. I think is a good bet.
Yeah. Tanner Reese, by the way, you're mentioning that Roto Grinders originally said Tony was out. That's why you got to follow Fantasy Pros and the news app. Don't worry about it. We've got your back. All right. I'm literally monitoring. It's okay. No, you can mention Roto Grind. You can do whatever you want. There's room for everybody. I'm just saying while we are doing this, guys,
Yeah.
I am communicating with our news desk team, and I'm monitoring what they're doing. I am telling them when I see news to immediately get it out. So you download the FantasyPros news desk app. You're good. Okay, I'm with you, by the way, Matt. And I think that the thing that I feel like, I don't know, maybe people are confused about is like you saw Geno Smith come in there and look surprisingly competent last game, right? You were like, wow, what is this?
Yeah.
It's surprisingly competent because it's Geno Smith, man.
Right.
I mean, where he was,
Okay,
I was like,
fine.
wow.
Yes,
And for me, I was
yes.
like, oh my God, whoever,
Right.
that's not what you're going to see on a week off, a week now that you can prepare for him to start in Pittsburgh on Sunday night football. Like that defense is going to eat him alive. Absolutely. And he has the playmakers, everything like that. So I don't know. That's where it is. Okay. Let's keep going here. I'll give another prop because I know the rushing. This is another rushing prop. Sorry about this, guys. I didn't love the props this week. I'm being honest with everybody. Daryl Williams over 11.5 rushing attempts is
wow.
something.
You are really betting boring props today. Wow.
Look, what do you want, Matt? Do you want winners or do you want excitement? Okay.
Two rushing attempt props.
Don't you understand? That's why it's great. You don't have to like freak out every time you get stuffed at the line or anytime it's stuff like that. Fine. Okay, here. You know what? We were just bashing Geno. Here you go. You ready for this then?
Yeah.
Bashing Geno Smith. What do I follow it up with, Matt? There's no way you're trailing on this. 0% chance. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. DK Metcalf over 60.5 receiving yards. There's no way you're trailing. Okay, so here's what I think.
I'm not saying no.
All right, let's just talk about it.
It's one catch, and what are you going to do? You're going to throw the ball deep, jump ball. DK's a monster.
I think Lockett is taken out of it. I think Lockett is done. Like maybe not. I hope. And you never know with Tyler Lockett. That's my dog. He's going to forget. He sees a squirrel. I apologize. Tyler Lockett, from a fantasy standpoint, and again, this is where all the props come from. As Matt and I talk about, I do fantasy projections. Like I project every relevant player, and this is where I try to find an edge. For me, I don't rely on Geno Smith whatsoever. But I do think that Tyler Lockett at this point is going to really struggle because he is reliant on Russell Wilson's incredible deep ball accuracy. His 3 catches of over 50 plus yards. DK can go deep and he can get it. But I also think that DK can kind of play if he needs to, like he probably will in this game, the possession receiver type role where you can run a 10-yard, route or something like that, or a 15-yard route. Geno can make that throw. And the secondary for the Steelers, they have allowed a lot of production here. They are terrible in defensive DVOA against the pass. This is where I think you can make some, we saw it last week. One of the reasons was I was like, Denver, they can't pass the ball. You saw Cortland Sutton go crazy. It's not like Geno has to go crazy. I think there's going to be enough production here from Metcalf. He's a guy who I think, again, with Geno, takes much less of a hit than does someone like Tyler Lockett. So even with me fading Geno entirely, I'm going.
I don't hate it.
Okay.
It's 14.
I don't hate it. It's something I'll take.
I think I may trail that one. That's the one I'll probably wind up.
That's fine.
The other 3, I'm just not going to be able to stomach.
That's fine. Cost yourself money. Do whatever you want. It doesn't really matter.
I just have a difficult time stomaching that. By the way, guys, WynnBET just put out their latest numbers in terms of what they're seeing from betting. The most action that they're seeing, the most bet game is Chargers, Ravens, Rams, Giants, and Packers, Bears. The biggest liability that WynnBET has going in today is the Cowboys laying 3. The public is all in on the Cowboys. Watch that cliff.
Let's go.
Off the cliff. Bye-bye. Off the cliff. And then Chiefs laying 7 to Washington, and the money line for the Chargers at plus 125 are the 3 biggest liabilities.
Interesting.
That WynnBET has right now. So it's just one book to give you an idea of what one book is seeing. But that Cowboys and Chiefs, no shock, the Chiefs laying 7 against Washington. I don't know. I mean, again, I'm teasing it down. I don't know if they cover. Chiefs have become like the Bucs in terms of inability to cover, 7-point lines. But 3.5 for the Patriots. Please. I mean, just please. By the way, this was number 2 yesterday. So the public has come in with both barrels on the Cowboys this morning. So that is Joe Public waking up, grabbing his app and going, ooh, I'm betting on the Cowboys today. And Rutrow, look out on that.
Yeah, that is that's not what you want if you're taking that side. All right, let's continue to run through the games here. We talked about the Rams Giants. We talked about the Chargers Ravens. And so, Matt, for the Bears getting 5.5 at home against the Packers, are you on the side on that, like on a personal level?
No, I've teased this down. So I'm on Packers. So I got 6 and I teased it down just to pick. So I have Packers pick, Chiefs -1 are my personal teaser on that. Like everybody else in the world, this is a very, very, very chalky
Sure.
public teaser. But I just think the Packers, the numbers for Aaron Rodgers, our guy D Nizzy stood on a table for our Circa team at 4.5 and was like, he gave out like 15 different stats about what Rodgers has done in his career on the road at Soldier Field against the Bears. And it's pretty psychotic. I mean, this dude like literally has eaten them alive for his career. And he's like, if there's one team that you want to bet on the road in the NFL, it's Aaron Rodgers at the Bears. So, go ahead. I think the prop bet cheat sheet also really likes Rodgers a lot too. The prop bet cheat sheet's got him going for 275 yards passing today, which is 17 yards over his projected total of 257.5 against the Bears. So, and there's no real weather to worry about in Chicago, right? That was one thing I was looking at.
Not that I've seen anything there.
So,
I can tell you.
I may be on that Rodgers passing prop to have him go over 257 yards.
Okay. Sorry about my crazy dog. Okay. All right.
I have two of them. It's like, it sounds like my house. So it just sounds like normal.
And again, my daughter is at her first ever swim meet right now.
That.
So,
isn't it the worst? What's the temperature today in New Hampshire? What's the temp?
I'll check it. Hold on. I've been outside, man. I woke up, I did an Instagram live, and now I'm here. We have 59 degrees.
Yeah, so when it gets to be sub 60, like 50 degrees, it was always the worst. You come out of the pool, you come out of the Y, you walk outside, your hair's all wet and it's freezing cold and it's just brutal. Like it was one of the worst experiences in New Hampshire ever when I was swimming at the Y Andover, which is basically New Hampshire. Yeah, and you just come out of the Y, you come out of your swim meet or whatever you come out of, and you're just shivering cold because it's so bitter, and you're like, why am I living in New England? Over and over again.
That is how I feel 90% of the time. No offense to New England. Love you, but I got to get out of here. Okay. So that's fine.
Come here.
We haven't talked about, you want me? I'll come out there, Betty. I love it. Okay. We haven't talked about this game yet, Matt. The Texans are visiting the Colts. So now it's at 10.5. So this has been at 10, I thought, for most of the week. It's at 10.5 right now. What do you think here?
Yeah. So someone asked in the live chat, am I going to be on the Texans this week? No, I am not. This is a monster stay away game for me. I mean, I think there's a number bet to be made here. If you want to just say over 10, jump on, the Texans, but it's a road dog laying 11 or taking 10 points. I wouldn't touch the Colts either. Home team laying 11 points in the NFL. Absolutely not. So this is the biggest stay away game. This is not even a teaser leg for me, although you can get it below 7 when you tease it down. This game's a whole lot of yuck. I have no interest in being involved in Texans Colts.
Yeah, me neither. I know, I talked to somebody who's like, oh, the Colts are going to come. Like the Colts spirit is basically broken last week. Like who the heck knows how they respond to it. Texans played obviously better than expected here against I love that Marvin Jones Jr., by the way, is going absolutely crazy right now. And as I mentioned when we started, there is no player who I have less faith in my own projections of than Marvin Jones, because I'm like, well, this is a great game, he should smash. Never does. I don't know if this is going to be so great. Dominant performance. So way to go, Marvin Jones. By the way, if everybody, in case you care, in case you ever want me to admit when I fail, which is often, I have personally in my fantasy lineup benched Marvin Jones this week. So there we go. Okay. Wow. So Chiefs are laying 6.5. This has stayed at 6.5, Matt, the whole time. Yeah. Now, are we just basically like the Chiefs can't cover a number? Doesn't matter. Just bet auto fire against them.
I think that's what the pros. I mean, the pros are saying that once it gets to 7, they're taking Washington. So that's why it's staying below here. And it's interesting because this is where, like, if you look at 6.5, the overtime number comes into play, because if you go to overtime, you win and score a touchdown, you win by 6. Like, you always got to be a little careful with 6.5, and you probably buy it down to 6, to be quite honest. But I don't love buying half a points. But 6.5 is always like, oh, it's so close, it's under 7, it's great. But yeah, there's so many scenarios that factor in that you can lose a bet at 6.5. That like once it goes to 6.5, you might as well just make it 6, because then you can at least get a push out of the bet if it goes to overtime. So I would definitely. I mean, the whole world's teasing this down like I did. I teased it down to 1. Oh, is that a strip? Oh my gosh, Trevor! Trevor Lawrence.
Got to feel that heat. Got to feel the heat, Trev. Got to feel it.
You're up 17-13, late third. You're driving. You're in field goal range. And you get a strip sack fumble and recovered by the Dolphins. That's just Urban wants to go back to Ohio.
I have to be honest. I really enjoy doing the live streams when we have a game on in London, because it's always fun for us. Oh yeah, that's just, you got to feel that pressure, man. You got to feel the pressure.
Tuck it and take the sack, dude. I mean, my gosh, that's just rookie quarterback mistake. But I like Trevor Lawrence. I don't like Urban Meyer. I think that's kind of the the running theme here that he does not inspire. Michael Lombardi, I don't know if you guys follow him on Twitter, but that dude like dunks on Urban more than any coach I've ever seen. I don't know what Meyer did to Mike Lombardi, but Mike Lombardi is like straight up tomahawk dunking on this dude every single Sunday. Like he's lost. He can't make adjustments. He doesn't want to be there. His body language is horrible. Like it's remarkable to me, but yeah, hopefully that Jags defense can do something here for us.
Yes.
What games haven't we talked about yet? We talked
about.
Yeah,
let's go through it. Let me get through it.
Raiders Broncos we haven't talked about yet.
We're getting there. I'm going through. Okay. We basically talked about most of them here. By the way, the one thing I will say very quickly is if you're watching this, thank you very much. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, or like this video for us. It helps us out actually a lot when you do that. And just subscribe, even if you don't want to watch, just a subscription, really easy. Okay, we talked, Matt.
By the way, just so you know, late Colts money, it's now 11.5 at circa.
Wow,
for Colts now. So there's people the late money's coming in on Indianapolis.
Wow. Okay. So we talked, Matt, about the Lions getting 3.5 from the Bengals. You're teasing it up, right? But you don't really want to bet it either way. But if you did have to bet it, you would bet Lions here at 3.5.
No, if you put a gun to my head and I had to bet it, I would bet the Bengals. Just because I hate that secondary.
Really? Oh, yeah. Okay.
But I think if you get me over 7, I think the Lions are plucky enough to keep the game within a touchdown. So it's more of a numbers play with the home dog catching 9.5 and a total of 49. I think it's a good. The total is less than that actually. What's the total? The total is for Bengals and. It's 47 from a total perspective. So I think it's more of the Wong teaser philosophy more than anything else with going with the Lions plus 9.5. Then if I had to bet it, I would lay the 3.5, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, I would take the 3.5 with the Lions. Actually, I would take it. Okay. I think they're going to keep this close. I think this game is going to be surprisingly competitive. We both have talked already about the Vikings and the Panthers. We both like the Vikings as long as it's under a field goal. Matt, is that fair to say?
Yes. Yeah. I laid 2.5 was the official play on the Daily Juice.
I got my official play on the BettingPros podcast. I believe was 1.5. So screw you over there. We love the Browns laying 3 to the Cardinals. That is both of our favorite bet of the weekend. Correct?
Yeah, this Cardinals money coming in, which is wild. It's now down to 3. It was up to 3.5.
It went up to 3.5. Correct. And it's actually at DraftKings and at Fox Bet. It's still. I'm looking at BettingPros.com right now. By the way, it's still 3.5. Okay. But it's 3 at most other books. I love it at 3 for sure. I will take it.
Bad throw by Tua.
Oh no!
My gosh, what a bad! I told you Tua stinks.
Man, you fading Tua is just.
I do not like
the house today.
I do not like Tua. I haven't liked Tua for a long time, and my gosh, that is their second takeaway of the year for the Jaguars. That's how bad Tua just threw that pick. My goodness gracious! Let's go Jags.
We've got the Patriots getting 3.5 from the Cowboys, and you and I all over the Patriots in this one. Yeah, the public loves the Cowboys. I love it. Watch them get destroyed. But whatever. I am also on the Patriots getting 3.5. Now we come, Matt, to the Raiders visiting the Broncos. Okay, I think I missed something here, Matt, because I felt like earlier in the week it was 3.5, and the consensus right now is 5.
Oh yeah,
the Broncos laying 5.
It's this big Bronco money coming in. This is
what is the reason for that? Do you think is it the Gruden stuff? I mean, it can't be that. It is. It's all the Gruden stuff.
100%. It's all the Gruden stuff. 100%. It's all the public coming in on Gruden. And remember, once the books get over 3.5, it doesn't take much resistance to get to 4, 4.5, 5. I mean, it's pretty simplistic. Look at Trevor. Oh, here we go.
Now you love Trevor, huh? Now you're all in. You're all in.
Let's go with the circa. I should have bet this. Too bad. I woke up this morning kicking myself for taking it in the circa. Now I'm kicking myself for not betting it.
I love it.
So I mean the Patriots. I mean to me the Broncos game is really going to be interesting because the Raiders. If you give them 6 points, I may have to come back with the teaser and tease this down and just take the Broncos on the money line. So or go the other way and give the Raiders 12 points on the road because I think the Raiders could win the game outright. I mean I've been telling people all week that this Raiders team is having this new guy come in. Everyone's raving about Bisaccia, and they think this dude's like ready for a head coaching job, and he could actually the team might actually hire him, permanently if he does well. And so he said all the right things. He's seen really motivated. The guy's kind of rallying the troops. And look, it's a ridiculous stat, but last year, interim head coaches in their first start went 3-0 straight up. Now that was late in the year. But after changes got made and guys got fired, the teams responded. And so 2-game losing streak. Now the team fired their coaches for losing, not for this, not for a major email scandal. So that's why this is a very unique circumstance when it comes to changing one, a coach in week 6, and two, not doing it for performance. The team's 3-2. So I don't know. This is a major watch and see game for me right now, unless you get it to 6 points, and then I probably would take it one way or the other with a teaser. 44.5 is the total from a Raider game perspective. That is so low. I don't want to bet totals, but I mean, I know you love the Broncos unders like you were talking about.
Well, I mean,
44
to this point, I have. I'm completely staying off this game. Like that's why I'm surprised that it's so much coming. I get like the green stuff, but I don't know what that does to the team. Like maybe it's a weight lifted off them, and they feel like right. So it's absolutely possible that they're going to play better right now coming out of this. So
also, and you have to realize something, that John Gruden wasn't that good of a coach,
right?
I mean, look at the numbers. It was always like I felt like they were winning despite John Gruden, not because of John Gruden. Right. And I don't know what the buyout was in terms of the $60 million he was owed, but the team's going to get out of that contract without having to have the embarrassment of firing him. Right. I mean, that would have been really, hey, give a guy 10 years, give him all this power, give him 51% of the roster control, and you had to fire him. Like that's a huge admission that Mark blanking on the owner's last name. Sorry. It should have had Mark Davis should have had the wherewithal to not hire Gruden and give him a 10-year contract coming off ESPN being out of football for 10 years. Right. So now we see what happens when you put John Gruden out of football. John Gruden likes to write homophobic, racist, and disgusting things on email. So like now we're seeing he should have stayed in the private sector, should have stayed as away from the NFL as a coach and not be out in the public. But he's now gone.
Yeah,
I think this is actually a net positive down the road for the Raiders to have to not deal with Gruden in the contract and the conversation of you hired a guy, give him a 10-year deal, and what has he shown for it? Like nothing. So now you get a competent coach to come in, and I think a Brian Daboll, or you go and get some offensive-minded coach, Eric Bieniemy, somebody to come in and run that offense and take it to the next level and really take Derek Carr to the next level. I think it actually could be a net positive long-term.
One game we haven't touched on yet. It is Monday Night Football. The Bills are visiting the Titans. The Bills are laying 5.5. What do you think?
I would going to take the 6 with the Titans. I'm going to wait. And I initially at 3.5 when it opened up offshore, I was like, okay, Vegas, what are you going to give me? And of course, Vegas opened up at 5. And I was like, man, it's just so annoying. And like I watched all that money that they knew this is what Vegas does now is they let the offshores go ahead and post the number first. Once the number comes pouring in, then they realize, oh, okay, all the pros are coming in on the Bills minus 3.5 after their destruction last week. Right now I would take the Titans, but it's most likely going to be a same game teaser for me where I'm going to take that 6 or 5.5 up and then take the total down and bet the over.
I like that. Actually, and I'm on. I mean, if I have to take a side, I'm taking the Titans right now. I think that this game they're going to show a little bit more than what they've showed right now. Considering Julio Jones healthy, everything like that. Ooh, you're watching that game. It's all right. Everything's fine, Matt. He didn't turn the ball over. It's all good.
Turn the ball.
It's all good.
I mean, why are you rolling it out on a 4th and 2? Run the football, man. Just or 3rd and 2.
I was like, oh no, 4th and 2. I was like,
you roll them out. You shut off half the field. It's just this is the type of crap that pisses me off about Urban Meyer's play calling. Like, what are you doing?
Coach of the
playing
year.
for a field goal.
Coach of the year. All right, you got a Wong teaser. You want to give out the official Wong teaser? I know you kind of gave it out, but people are always waiting. So go ahead. Wong teaser time, everyone. Let's go.
The official Wong teaser, which again, it's 49 is the key. Okay, you have home dogs. We take home dogs up. We're already crossed the lines are plus 3.5. Oh, they went for it on 4th down and didn't get it.
Oh no.
Are you kidding me? How stupid are you? How stupid are you? Are you kidding me? They went for it on 4th and 2 from the 10. Urban Meyer, are you?
No.
What is wrong with you? You can make it a 7-point game. You take the points. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. I mean, I'm not that angry because I'm on plus 3.5. So now it brings a touchdown and it's 3. Yeah. But that is unreal how dumb that is by Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
Wow. It ain't college anymore, man. Okay. Anyway, sorry. 47 is the total for Bengals Lions, and 49 is the total for Giants Rams. I'm taking the Rams down to 1.5, minus 1.5 for the Rams.
Okay.
And I'm taking the Lions up to 9.5 at home against the Bengals. Plus 9.5, minus 1 for the Rams, 2-leg Wong teaser. for us here, which we are 5-0 on the long teaser. Just please don't get blown out, Detroit.
I don't think they're gonna, man. I mean, I could be wrong. Like, who knows? It's Detroit, but they fight, dude. Like they fight that whole game. You know, I don't know. I don't see it, but I could be wrong. Who knows? Obviously.
It's going to be very interesting to see how, when you look at the Lions after the year is over, if they have fought hard and lost, that's the best thing you could want as a Lions fan. Like you want them to lose every game by 3 points. Like just go 1-16 and lose, but show fight, like show some competency, show that you actually can put up. And they're at home and they do play pretty well at home. And I like the Bengals. I'm on their over 6.5 wins, but this is a game where I could see them losing outright. I could.
I'm with you, my friend. All right. That's going to do it. You got the player props. If you didn't catch them, just scroll up, guys. Just scroll up to when it comes. It comes out of the Betting Pros. That's what we have here from when I comment on something. It comes from the Betting Pros channel. So you can see it. Just scroll up if you want to see my props, which Matt hates and finds boring. And he's correct, to be fair. They are boring this week. So wait till you see next week. Well, we got the whole world on a bye, all right? It's going to be like, receptions from a backup running back. That's where we're going to go. All right. Anyway, guys. Good luck today with all your bets. Thank you for joining us. We had a lot of people here, 350 at one point, all the way up. We love you guys. Make sure you're subscribed here to the channel. We'll be back every week doing this. And again, listen to Daily Juice, listen to Betting Pros Podcast, and subscribe here to the channel. Good luck with all your bets, everybody. We'll catch you in our